like we would train people not to come here, right? And it's like, hey, leads are bad for you, and high comp means that you're not chasing your purpose,
That is classified as confidence. You're confident. Your team's getting confident.
Yeah, but if you want to focus on being such a great closer and know the Jones close technique, I don't know, whatever that is. I've heard things. It's like, just put the numbers in your favor.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening. And I hope this information is serving you across the country. All right, everybody, thank you for jumping on with us for our Tri-State Trends podcast. I am excited. I got a young gunner in with me today. Came in from Maryland. My man, Chris Warren.
Yeah.
Crushing it. Hasn't been with us long, but has learned the business through FFL and is starting to take it to the next level. His team just had a record-breaking month. So to say that you're trending, my man, is an understatement. We appreciate you jumping on with us. How you doing, bro?
I am blessed and highly favored. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing amazing, bro.
Grateful to be here.
First off, how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
22 years old.
Yeah.
So what attracted you to the insurance industry, and how old were you when you got into business?
So I got started right after I turned 19, and I was literally just I was going to school to become a neurosurgeon. I was around my last year. I was doing research and internship. And
neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
So you ain't no joke, bro.
It was a lot of pressure.
I hear that.
I was praying to know, okay, cool, I need to know if this is something that's going to be for my life before I go into neurosurgery. So I was looking for an opportunity, and somebody came to my school and just said, hey, you should probably just check it out. So I just, checked out the industry. I came in. At first, it was almost like a learning process where I wanted to know what is this industry has, what can it bring, what's different about it. And when I started doing the numbers and the math, because I took 10 years to go to school, become a doctor, you do your residency, you do your 4 years of medical school, the rotation.
Wow.
You can probably become a surgeon specialized. You are making a 1 meal, 2 meal based on where you are as a neurosurgeon, right? The time that it took. But I saw entrepreneurship. You pay the price up front with the long hours, the study, the rejection, and all that. But eventually, if you continue to persist and you're seeking out mentorship and you're working harder, because I was already going to work hard if I'm going to be a doctor, eventually you're going to get to that path where you're going to go much sooner without six-figure debt.
Got it.
Being a surgeon.
Yeah, I see you.
So,
I see. What an analysis.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a math
That's
guy.
impressive. But, you're looking at that. That's pretty strong. You're looking at the debt side and then the opportunity side, and you're saying, all right, well, what do we want to do? So you get into financial services, okay? How'd you find FFL?
So I knew about FFL for maybe about 2-3 years before moving here, and it was like the marketing was done. It was almost like we would train people not to come here, right? And it was like, hey, leads are bad for you, and high comp means that you're not chasing your purpose, I know, right? I mean,
the two are not synonymous, by the way.
It doesn't make
sense. High comp and purpose are not. Actually, they should be more synonymous. High comp actually equals your purpose faster.
Yeah, and you're helping other people along the way as well, right?
But that's great.
It's just insane, but it's like. And then I was watching videos on YouTube, right? And then I'm sure it's happening right now. People who aren't even here, the thing is, the transparency here at Family First Life is, even if you're not here, you're probably watching video to get better at selling, because they're not telling you or training you how to sell. So you're already getting trained here. Might as well join the team. So coming to Family First Life, I was like, for a year, I was sitting on the decision with Family First Life, because I was like, I can't believe this is the real numbers. Like, you guys do what? Like, you guys are helping this many families? You guys are taking... I'm like, I cannot believe this. And this was back then where you could see, like, numbers, everything. Like, and it was like, it was too good to be true at that time with my perspective of how I view things. Instead of being like, okay, how is this possible? So I started getting curious. How is this possible?
Right.
What do you guys have that's different? I
Right.
see the lead, I see the training, I see the system, right? And it's just a much more less factor to control. Like here, it's like you either don't have enough lead or you're not calling enough. It's not like, hey, well, you don't have a good market or your friend. That like it's not a lot of unpredictable data. Here it's like you have data like, okay, cool, you don't have enough lead or you're not calling enough, because if you don't have enough skill, supplement with the leads, supplement with enough inventory
Right.
to put the numbers on your side.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not like, hey, you have to have this many people that you know. Like I can't predict that. Here, if I bring someone new, I can tell you if you're not succeeding, it is most likely your fault because you're probably not calling enough or you don't have enough lead.
Yeah.
So I don't have to try to figure out, do you have a good market? Do you know 100 people? Are your friends lawyers? You know, I don't have to do all that. So,
What in the world?
yeah. So
That's crazy.
it's much more predictable.
Clearly, which brought you here
Yeah.
and is keeping you here and is allowing you to focus
Yep.
on doing the things you need to do to grow your deal.
Absolutely.
How long you been with FFL?
Moved here end of January. So like starting February.
So 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because you just had a record month. How many families did y'all help last month?
Last month, I don't know exactly the entire one, but I know April.
I'm sorry, April, correct.
April would do it about 38 personal, and then I team with like 94.
38 personal, 94
38
families.
families, yeah.
That's just crazy. So that's
Yeah.
you helping. That's a lot of families you helped. I mean,
Yeah.
putting pen to paper. Now you're out in the field, correct?
Yeah.
Meeting with people face to face.
Learning a lot.
Okay. Talk to
Yeah.
us a little about what you're learning and how much you enjoy
Yeah.
the contact. Now, because the way we do it is a contact sport. This
Yep.
isn't like, again,
it's not.
four
yeah.
appointments a week.
Yeah, no.
4-hour appointments.
Mhm.
Come back 6 times to see if they want to buy.
No.
We're not doing that. This is high contact.
Yep.
Because they filled out a form.
Yeah,
This isn't
they
like
requested our help.
They requested
So it's not
life
me
insurance.
trying to tell you or
Yeah.
say this
Yeah.
is why you need to
No,
get
sir.
it. It's more like, hey, like I'm here. I'm solving problems, and I
Yeah.
get paid for helping people and solving problems. So my first few, like I had to work a lot to learn. So I tried the second chance mortgage. That's where I did the calls in the CRM. I supplemented with a second chance mortgage, and I wanted to learn a lot. So I kept calling Wayne.
Before you do that,
Mm-hmm.
were you working on leads before Family First Life ever?
Never.
Never.
My first day kind of call leads, I just didn't know what I was doing.
So was that a roadblock for you when you came over? The idea that
was.
you had to buy leads.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I struggle with that idea of buying leads because to my head I was like, okay, I let myself believe that you buying leads is you spending this money, but it's like it's almost opportunity cost. When you're not buying leads, you quote unquote say that you have free leads or free marketing, but you don't know how much that's costing you, dude. Because you saying creating that free lead all the time is costing you the opportunity to help an extra 10 family with that time.
Wow.
So it was realizing that, hey, bro, that's why I know I struggle my first 2 months where I'm like, I'm literally fighting myself from actually following the FFL system. It's like, let me give that control and just like, okay, let me do this. Like, let me just follow.
Got it.
So it was a big fight, and it's a big mental fight to like go from there. But it's like once you do it, it just makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Opportunity cost of not buying leads is more important than the opportunity cost. Yeah.
Very expensive to not buy leads.
Yep.
Very
Absolutely.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you were talking about, evolving your company. You said you were
Yeah.
calling Wayne.
Yeah.
You said you would act
In the home, and then I remember my first few time, and then like that's where me and the team we came with the slogan "Call Wayne," right?
Is that a hashtag?
Yeah, that's our hashtag in the team. Anytime everything is "Call Wayne," right? And then it's funny, but it's actually true because he will be able to help us. But the first few time in the beginning, it was like I would call Wayne in an appointment or after an appointment. He's like, dude, hey, your structure might be a problem here. What about you watch this? What about we do this, right? And I was like so excited that he was there to help me with those steps and say, hey, here's the resource, here's the help here. But the good thing too that I know also in my side, he made me realize is I didn't stop and I kept having enough appointment, because I know some people are like, well, I need to have this skill before I go on the field. It's like, dude, just if your skills are so terrible, go book 40 appointments.
Right.
Compensate that. But you're gonna learn in the process.
Yeah.
But if you want to focus on being such a great closer and know the Jones close technique, I don't know, whatever that is. I've heard things. It's like, just put the numbers in your favor, and the rest is gonna fall into place. So. Yeah, and it's just like calling him, saying, hey, dude, your structure. Even I remember one time on Live Dial, and I was opening my mic, and I was like messing up and failing, and then John was like saying, like, dude, you just blew that off, right? I was like, man, look, I'm learning. Right? And like, we laugh at it all the time. It's like, dude, like, he told me, like, dude, you're terrible. But it's almost like I just knew I don't know the skills that I needed, but I just knew I needed to put the numbers in my favor. And that's all I focused on, right? That's the only thing I can track. That's the only metrics I can track. So, okay, so if I'm not good at the skills, I'm going to put enough lead in my favor. Maybe you take 300 leads to book 20 appointments. I might need 400, but we're going to get the same numbers. That's it. You're telling me you're going to book 4 out of 100, 4 out of 10? All right, cool. If my ratio is 2 out of 10, I'm going to do 20 so we can be at the same number. Yeah. So we're just putting a number in our favor.
Makes sense, man. I mean, and that's something that, we coined earlier is stack the deck so high in your favor you can't lose.
Absolutely.
Which is essentially what you're saying. And that mindset is now, I'm assuming, permeating through your group because what'd you do in March?
March I did nine families in the whole month.
And then your team did how many?
Like, we were like 34.
Okay. So you did a clean triple.
Yeah.
From March to April. That is classified as confidence. You're confident. Your team's getting confident.
Yep.
What did you do? What are you doing inside of your group to get them to understand the same things you're starting to understand? So
one thing is if the same people aren't maybe getting the message not getting through, it's continuously recruiting and bringing on new agents. Because that's the fastest way you grow is either you bring new people that you can actually train or you're trying to tell the same thing to the newest people. Or you just go find somebody else and turn them into an example. So it's, hey, you see, when you listen, this is what happens. So it was continuously bringing new agent as well. And also just kind of like having calls and saying, hey, what are you doing, right? What are you using? What's your strategy? Like, how many hours during the week are you actually putting towards building the business? Are you saying I want to work this amount of hours, or it's almost like, what's your expectation that you have for the business and what work are you putting towards it? Is having that conversation. And even now, as I'm talking to a newest agent, I had a conversation with John Wetmore. He was talking about later expectation. Even at the recruiting interview, was like, hey, dude, if you're gonna come here and we're gonna work together, but prepared to do this work based on these goals that you have. Once you don't do it, best be assured that you communicate that with me. It's not having that conversation. So it's just having conversation with the team and say, hey, if you want to have this goal, what are you putting to? What's the work that you're putting behind every action? Yeah.
Love it.
Having expectations.
Love it. And the permeation of, people buying leads and getting on the phone.
Yeah.
That's going well.
Yeah.
What is your expectation for the remainder of this year?
I'm more excited as far as new people coming on board and then just helping as many family as possible, experiencing different level of freedom. But I'm looking at just making sure that Wayne, the person who's making sure that we're getting taken care of, becomes a board member. That's important to me because I know how hard he works and also how available and the heart that he has to be able to really serve people.
That's amazing.
So he gave me a challenge. He said, hey, look, this month is a 5-week month, right? I know you guys can do VP numbers. You guys can help 150 families.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool. That's a new challenge because if we're looking at the trends, we might fall short. But I'm like, okay, cool. I know we can take on this challenge.
Well, if we're looking at the trends, you grew 3 times in 1 month. You were at 94.
Yeah.
So if we're looking at the trends, we could probably say that y'all can help 270 families. If I'm trending, we are on the Tri-State Trends.
Yeah.
And breaking news on the Tri-State Trends podcast. Chris Warren's group is going to smash this.
Oh, man.
In the month of June. Over 250 families help because he's trending 3x.
Oh, man. Guys, we got to do it now.
You said we were looking at the trends.
Yeah. Well, the average family per week
So I was looking at trends, too. Listen, man, I appreciate you for jumping on with me.
Thank you.
You got a lot of momentum. You got a lot of energy. I love the way you think.
Yeah.
I see bright things.
I'm grateful for everybody here in the mentorship.
Appreciate you, brother.
For sure.
Tri-State Trender, my man Chris Warren. We definitely in the building. Thank you, sir. Keep listening. We love you.